Welcome, team. Welcome, dear Python learners. Today, we'll cover the different versions of Python, how to download Python, and how to install that, as well as we'll deep dive a little bit about IDE as well. So, in today's course, the content that we are going to cover is what are the different softwares where Python can run and its major versions, about Python interpreter. We discussed last class, but I just thought of getting a little bit more into it. And then how to install Python, how to create an ID. ID is the place where you are going and you started doing your programming, and the resource where you can get help or where you can learn Python, and the summary. So Python comes in or available rather in different platforms. You call it Windows, which typically we use. Macintosh, that's also very much in use. As well as we have, Unix or different flavors of Unix, and you call it any other language is available. Any other operating system rather, and it is available. And there are two flavors of Python in market. And this is the one is the older one. We call it static, or call it, the one that is still there, but we are not working on that, which is Python 3, 2, and the one that we are working now is called Python 3. The latest one is Python 3.9. So, as I said, Python 2.x, that is the latest or the greatest one is 2.7, is still in use. And the primary reason is, as I said earlier, Python is mainly invented for the scientific application. So it is created by the researchers for doing the research work, and hence a lot of libraries, a lot of different third-party tools that are created in 2.x, and it is very difficult to reinvent that or migrate that into Python 2, 3, and that is the reason we are still keeping up with 2.x. As I said, that many libraries, scientific research, computers is still in use. That's the primary reason we're still keeping 2.x. So whenever you are in use, there are chances that you might be, following some of the Python 2 version as well within your code, and you might be using, or you might be working on those codes as well. Although you are working with Python 3, let's say. And Python 3 is the current and the greatest and latest one that each of us are using. And this is an enhanced version of 2.6, 2.7 rather. Why? It incorporates all the better features and enhanced features which were not available in 2.7 or 2.x, and hence multiple changes has been done to make the Python code easy to read, to make it more flexible, and to make it more powerful. Couple of things like print statement, range, typing systems, many are improved, while we started from what we had in Python 2.x versus what we have in 2.7, or sorry, 3.x. We'll definitely will cover the highlights as we move from or as we move along our course curriculum. Wherever I see that there's a need, I will definitely make sure that I'm covering those points as well. And as I said, our course will be on Python 3.x, so you can start downloading and installing your PyCharm or Anaconda or any of it. I will give that any of the one that you wanted, and you can there are a lot of different videos available, so I don't want to give you one more. You can go and find one. If you have got any issues, please message me in my comment box, and I will be very happy to help you. So Python interpreter again. Why an interpreter? Interpreter is used for Python to communicate with machine. You have written something and you wanted the CPU attention, CPU central processing unit. You wanted Python to, to be read and to be understood so that, it can process the code as well as can give us an output. For that, we need an interpreter, and that interpreter primarily talks to machine and is able to give you those details. So it is executing the Python code from start to end. An interpreter convert the source code. So we have the source code. If you remember in my earlier class, I have showed what is source code and how to compile or how to interpret when we press the run command and then we get the output. So this is the start to end. So when we press the run command, what it does is actually the source code is converted into code objects that our machine can understand. It makes Python a very easy to use language because we don't have much complexity. In earlier, if you go to C++, you have to create makefile, you have to compile those, and then there are a lot of compilation issue comes, and then you have to handle those compilations. So that makes our coding experience difficult as well. So this is definitely is an as an advantage for someone who is starting as a newcomer or who has just started their coding journey. It gives a lot of confidence while coding in Python. So, for example, the source code below, if you see the Hello Python learner, what is we are done? This is our source code. While you are executing that, this will be interpreted by the interpreter, and the output you will be getting, as I had shown earlier as well in my last lecture, Hello Python learner. This is what the interpreter does. The raw or the plain English language written in English print Hello Python learner is converted, processed, and then the text you will be able to display or you will be able to see. If I have to install Python, I will be going to do it from python.org, and the version we should be typically choosing the latest one until you are not facing any issue that needs some attention. So you can quickly go to python.org and find the latest or like a Python version and install it in your system. And then install any of the IDE. You can go for virtual environment. That is my favorite. I do that. Or you can go to Anaconda. This is quite popular IDE as well. But if you wanted to productionalize, you might have to go to PyCharm or something of that kind. The resources I put only one because this is a very good site, python.org, where you will be able to get the tutorial, quite extensive one. You can learn a lot of things from there. So whenever you have doubt, I will try to make sure that I give you each and every aspect of programming, but please take some time whenever possible. Go get even deeper into those tutorials so that you can get a lot of things out of it and learn as much as possible. So in summary, you have to make your hand dirty. You have to write code. So just reading may not be helping you. Go make your hand dirty, write code, get error, you'll learn. So if you really wanted to do justice to what you are learning, I suggest go ahead and get started with your coding. Python subject is light but very powerful, believe me. And because it is relatively easy to learn, you'll be able to do a lot of things in a small amount of time. So you'll be able to help with your productivity. You'll be able to learn and able to do any of the things that you wanted. So get set go. Let's get started. Thank you so much for this video. Let's make sure that from here on, we will be actually getting into the actual coding. And so let's go and create your ID, install Python, so that from next class onward you can make your hand dirty. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.